Alright guys, this is going to be another video. Should have made this a long time ago. I met some people flying from Russia to here in America, and God showed me a lot of stuff. Um, Not only just on the flight, man, like not even the whole trip, but the flight was ridiculous. And I met this guy, his name was uh, Judah. Literally, I don't know how he said it. It's Yahuda, I think, in their language. So he was telling me his name, I didn't understand, and then finally God was like, "Oh, it's Judah," and I was like, "Oh, it's Judah," because we do the J's and they do the Y's. It has to do with like the German. But anyway, um, yeah, I said I was gonna make this video for you, Judah. So hopefully you subscribed and you watch it, because this has to do with you. It's like a blessing in your namesake. So we all know that when Israel was here, well, hopefully we all know this is supposed to be for Israel. Hopefully we all know that when Israel was here, he was the one that was supremely blessed above all others. And he was blessed so much that he gave out like a ton of blessings. He was giving out blessings left and right, which technically that was right and left, but from you guys' perspective, it was left and right. Also has to do with the way he blessed Ephraim and Manasseh, which is super cute, but I get that into another time. But yeah, I mean, it's really awesome. Like God blessed Israel so much that he was able to bless all of his children. Um, and nobody was like that. Like if you remember, Abraham's blessing only went to Isaac, of course, and God only counted Isaac as the only son of Abraham. He even says this: offer up your only son whom you love, and he goes and offers up his only son, which is Isaac. And then we go to Isaac when he has kids. Of course, he loves Esau, but the mother favors what's his name, Jacob. I never think of him like that. I always think of him like Israel. But the mother loves Jacob, and Jacob, of course, steals his brother's blessing. And what happens after that? Like he goes and he's like, "Father, don't you have any blessings for me?" And then he's like, "Man, I don't have anything." And he basically, if you read it, he's like, "All I have is a curse." And he's like, "You will serve your brother," blah blah blah. And it was like, oh my God, it's a horrible thing that it's reading. If you go and read it, it's like a horrible thing. Uh, but yeah, so Isaac only has one blessing to give, and then you read Israel, and he's like, "Let me bless all my children." What the heck? It's just really crazy. But it has to do with like the Spirit of God. The Spirit of God has multiple blessings, and He gives each to whom the Father and the Son wills. Uh, but I think it's super beautiful, and this has to do with one of the blessings that He bestowed upon Judah. And this blessing is, He says, the scepter will not depart from Judah until Shiloh appears. Um, so pretty much he's telling the entire kids, all of his kids, he's telling them that the king is not going to be from Ephraim and Manasseh. And God tells this to David, probably through this same verse. God revealed this to David that he had rejected Ephraim and Manasseh in favor of him. That David was going to be the righteous king and his kingdom was going to be established forever. Um, that's a verse. Guys can read that. I'm not going to try to prove that. That's in Psalms where David reveals this to us. God revealed it to David, and David puts it in a psalm how he rejected Joseph, and Ephraim and Manasseh had been cast off in favor of him because the Messiah is supposed to come through the line of David, and the line of David is the line of Judah, and Judah is considered the son of Israel. Israel is considered well, Israel is really considered the son of God. That's why God gave him a different name. But Jacob, you can consider him the son of Isaac. Um, and then Isaac is the son of Abraham, uh, really the son of God too, because you can consider Abraham, Abraham, you can consider him God, the father to many nations, because again, we all stem from him, we all stem from God. But anyway, the line is traced down the holy and blessed lineage of the Messiah, and the Messiah is supposed to come through this holy line of Judah, and that's one of the things. So the scepter is not going to depart from Judah. And God showed me a long time ago. If you guys, this is for Israel, I don't know how many of you guys actually look into this kind of stuff, where the numbers represent something. Um, anyway, the number of our God is 26. We know that His name, which is the Tetragrammaton, I don't know what it is, but we know you guys don't say it, but it's basically the Yod, uh, the He, the Vav, and the He. So YHWH would be in English. We know that He's all that adds up to 26. And one time I was in class, and God was like, "Look what I'm doing." So I looked at it, and it was super cute because it was like God says that the Messiah is going to rule. Well, I don't know exactly how it's worded. We know it's going to be the Messiah. For us as Christians, we know that that's Jesus and Jesus is God. But we know that the nations are going to be ruled with an iron rod, and that's through God and through Jesus. Of course, we believe is God's Son. But yeah, in that iron rod, um, the the number for iron is 26. So I always thought it was a harsh thing, but I thought it was beautiful that they were going to be ruled. The iron rod was literally going to be God ruling over them, over the nations. But of course, iron is hard and it's a rough thing. And I was like, oh my God, oh, okay. I guess if the nations have to be ruled with an iron rod, I guess God knows best. Um, but that's a very childish way of thinking. Like if you guys look at it, there's very many hard things that are really good. Like a foundation for I'm in a house right now, so I'm looking down. But the foundation for a house is something solid, right? And even though discipline is hard on us, literally we're being beaten with a stick. Some of us, I don't know if you guys were beaten with a stick. I was beaten with a belt, sometimes a stick. But it's a beautiful thing, right? Like it's hard for us at the time, but we know that it develops in us greater character. But specifically with Jesus, it's an even more abundantly beautiful thing. And if you guys like are mad, blah blah blah, Jesus, just think about the Messiah. Um, Hopefully, God will reveal to you later that Jesus is the Messiah. But the Messiah is going to be the one ruling in Jerusalem. Not only the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Israel and Judah are going to be one. I think at that time they're only going to be known as Israel. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not sure. But he's going to be ruling from Jerusalem, and he's going to be ruling the entire world because all the nations are going to come and give homage to God through the Messiah. And we all believe this. I'm being very like secretive right now, even though you guys know or should know that Jesus, I believe, is the Messiah. But everyone's going to give and pay homage to God in Israel, specifically in Jerusalem, through the Messiah, because he's going to have everyone come back to God, including Israel that right now is scattered. But yeah, when he rules, he's going to be ruling with an iron rod, and iron is the number 26, which represents God and Jesus. But not only that, in that YHWH, Yahweh we call it. I know you guys are offended when people pronounce the name, but that's how like a lot of Christians have been saying it. But anyway, our God, the eternal God, he is going to rule the nations. And iron, I thought was a hard thing. It wasn't until I met Judah, which hopefully, or Yudah, I don't know how to say his name, but it wasn't until I met him that God revealed to me that it was something soft and something that brings life. So if you guys are any of you guys are like inclined like to the sciences, we know that iron is in the red blood cell. And not only do we know that we can't live without blood. Like we can live with everything else, like even the heart. Like we have machines that just pump and do the job of the heart, but you cannot live without blood. Without blood, there is no life. And even God tells us this in Leviticus. He says the life of a man is in his blood. Blood is in the life. He says over and over and over again, blood is in the life. And life is in the blood. Yeah. Blood is in the life. I kept saying that. It's interesting. But yeah, we see this over and over and over again. And that's why the Jews aren't supposed to eat blood because the blood is living. And we don't eat something living, we eat something dead, whether fruit or food or carcass, whatever it is. We don't eat something living, we eat something dead. So that's why they're not supposed to eat the blood. I guess I can make a whole other video about that because God just showed me that right now. But we don't eat the living; we eat something dead. Whether it's deer or cattle, whatever it is, we eat something dead. But anyway, beyond that, not only that, they're covered in blood, and their houses were covered in blood. So the angel of death knew to pass them by because blood was on their house. In other words, the house was a house of the living, not of the dead. And also us, we're covered in the blood of Christ, which is why the priests used to sprinkle blood on the congregation and bless them in the name of the Lord. But what is it special? What's so special about this blood? Oxygen. Iron is, again, hemoglobin. Iron is the key component. You guys know if you guys are low on iron, like hopefully you guys know this. When you're low on iron, then you have something called anemia. And this makes you fatigued and makes you tired because the iron is what binds oxygen within the red blood cells. So iron is in our blood to bring life to the rest of the body. Just like iron will be in the hands of the Messiah to rule the nations, to bring life to the entire world in that time. So it was just a beautiful thing that God revealed to me. It's a 10-minute video just to say that iron is something that binds life, oxygen, representing God's spirit. Um, Oxygen, what was oxygen? Is that 16? I don't remember. I think oxygen it should be 8. That would make the most sense. 8 represents resurrection or life or new life. So it'd make the most sense if it was 8. I have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it's 8. Uh, and carbon, I think, is 6. 7 is nitrogen. Yeah, that makes sense. And all that stuff makes super amounts of cute sense, like in God's eyes. There was something he showed me a long time ago, which I think I should make another video about. But yeah, this was for Judah. This is the blessing that God gives to Judah, so it's the blessing I'm trying to help him understand. The man that I met, whose name was also Judah, that God's going to rule the nation in the Messiah through 26 iron or the eternal, and that's going to give life to the rest of the world. But anyway, just talk to God about it, man. Just invoke the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob if you're Jewish, and He'll answer you, man. He'll reveal this stuff to you. We had a beautiful and a wonderful conversation, man. It was like something crazy, like God literally set that up for me to learn from them and for them to learn from me. Something like not only did we know about each other, we also learned about God. So hopefully he does look it up. I don't know his last name, so there's no way I'd be able to look him up. But hopefully their camp went well. They were going to a Jewish camp. Shout out to both Judah and Moshe, which is Moses. We had a really cool talk, and God blessed me abundantly in that talk. But anyway, peace and love through our Savior Christ. Yeah, just pray about it, talk to God about it, and He'll reveal Himself to you.